And welcome back to the Daily Wrap. How about we check in with Steve Malsberg and see what he has planned for tonight? Steve.
All right, Rick, coming up right after this show, we're going to hear from Larry Kudlow, who's going to weigh in on the war between Donald Trump and Jeb Bush. They have dueling videos that are out trashing one another. That should be interesting. Also, the Malsberg panel will weigh in on that. And the law clerk in Kentucky who refuses to grant licenses, marriage licenses to gay couples, the Supreme Court said she's got to do it. She's not doing it. She's due in court Thursday. We'll talk about that. We got Michael Barone, Lloyd Grove, and much more right after the Daily Wrap at 7 p.m. Eastern.
And thanks, Steve, if that was really you. You might have heard about the county clerk in Kentucky who refuses to give marriage licenses not only to gay couples but all couples, despite having been ordered by a federal court to do so. The clerk, Kim Davis, appealed the initial decision all the way to the United States Supreme Court. Yesterday, the highest court of the land denied Ms. Davis's request for a stay of the judge's ruling, and that means she is legally obligated to begin issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples. However, Ms. Davis remains undeterred, today refusing two gay couples' requests for licenses to marry. As a result, on Thursday, she will now be required to appear before a federal judge where she could be held in contempt and ordered to pay a fine or be sentenced to some jail time. Because Ms. Davis is an elected official, she can't simply be fired, although she could be recalled if the majority of voters in her county wish to do so. Despite the problems she may face, Davis says she will continue to refuse marriage licenses to gay couples due to her religious beliefs. She has now released the following statement on her attorney's website. Some people have said I should resign, but I have done my job well. I never imagined a day like this would come where I would be asked to violate a central teaching of Scripture of Jesus himself regarding marriage. To issue a marriage license which conflicts with God's definition of marriage with my name affixed to the certificate would violate my conscience. It's not a light issue for me. It's a heaven or hell decision for me. It's a decision of obedience. Now, Brad, there are really two issues here. There's religious freedom, and then there's the existing law. Is it fair for anybody to require Ms. Davis to adhere to the law if it violates her religious beliefs?
I think it is, and I say it with very cautiously. I have real sympathy for her.
Yeah.
And when a person of faith says it's not a light issue for me, I get that. That it's a heaven or hell decision for me, she writes. It's a decision of obedience. I get that, and that is real. But she also has an obligation to do the job she has been elected to do. And that's the issue. You've got to do your job. Then fight it out. Maybe we should have a better workaround. I think we probably should.
This is the problem. She has an option. Look, she swore to do the job, and more importantly, she swore to uphold the law. Now, she didn't say, I swear to uphold the law so long as it doesn't conflict with my religious or any other kind of belief.
Correct.
So now that it does, her option, her appropriate option, and I have sympathy for it too. I respect her point of view. I may or may not agree with it, but I respect it. She has to resign or do her job. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no debate here, and I don't believe that her motives are especially worthy of merit or consideration. I think what she wants is to be martyred. I think she wants to be hauled off and taken into jail. I believe she wants to be held into contempt.
But now here's where it gets weird. I mentioned that she can be recalled. I took a look at how the law works in Kentucky. She can be recalled, but there's a problem. Most of the people in the county who voted for her support her.
Well, that's what this is ridiculous. If she were to resign her position in protest, say I can't do this, I can't in good faith sign these marriage certificates and martyr herself in that fashion, and she would become a celebrity on the right, among the religious and
she'd be making a whole lot of money giving speeches than she will be paid as the county clerk.
Exactly, she'd be everywhere. Her current strategy is just politically inept.
No, but to her credit, that's the purity of the motive, which is why I take it really seriously, but why she really has to resign, because she has lost the thread that knows to make a distinction between my freedom, your freedom, anyone's freedom to practice their faith as they see fit, and the fact that others have the same right. You can't impose your faith on someone
exactly
else,
what
and
she's
that's
doing.
what she's doing. I don't agree with her decision, but I respect it, and I respect that it is politically inept because it comes from purity of faith.
I
but you
think we're
can't
projecting
impose
purity
it.
onto her that we don't
I might
necessarily
agree
know
with no
exists.
on that.
Don't be so
All right,
cynical.
but
Doesn't
wait-
help the argument
but
either.
wait a second. So now what has to happen? She's not going to get recalled because people there agree with her. She's not going to resign, it appears. So now it's got to go back to the court for a contempt proceeding because
Correct.
she is in contempt.
She's going
of
to
the court's
jail.
order.
There are pastors all over the
They're
country saying
not
they want
gonna-
her to.
They're not going to want to put her in jail. That judge is thinking politics. He has to run for office in that county too. So my quick question, we need a quick answer, is when they fine her, should it not be her weekly salary? Since she's not doing her
Yes,
job.
yes, a very substantial amount.
Should be
Yeah,
a
that's a
weekly
reasonable
salary.
way to go. If the IRS can garnish wages, go for it. There must be a legal precedent for it.
Yeah, I think that's the way it should go. Well, there's definitely legal precedence, up to the judge. We want to know what you think about this. Does Kim Davis have the right to refuse to issue marriage licenses to gay couples? Should she be fined or jailed? Let us know. Newsmaxtv.com/comments. Coming up, we have news from the Vatican on abortions. Stay tuned.